thanks for watching and joining. And I was thinking today, and I actually heard this um, song on the radio that really made me just think, there's two songs really, which I plan to put a link and or description in the bottom of this video in the description. I plan to put the details of the two songs, but there's one song that talks about, if Jesus came to our church, he wouldn't be allowed in. We wouldn't, because of his muddy feet and different things like that. We wouldn't let him in our church, which shouldn't happen. It should never happen. We should allow anyone into our churches, and there's another song that I just heard for the first time today, it just made me think, because it was talking about how the people in the church and Christians and stuff tend to point fingers and different things and all kinds of things and judge and stuff. We shouldn't, this should not only should this stuff not happen in our churches, but as we're going through our day-to-day lives, every day of the week, 24/7, we shouldn't be pointing fingers and judging people and stuff, because that's God's job. God is the judge, not us. And so we should just be doing our part in to be a Christian and being loving and joyful and I think most of all loving. I think love is the most important thing we can do and should do. And that means, and I think we should be, loving everyone to the best of our ability, both in church and outside of church. 7 days a week, 24/7, as long as we're awake, of course. But we should always love everyone, accept everyone, and and we shouldn't point fingers and judge and stuff. Because I was actually thinking, when I was hearing this song that I just heard today, I was thinking, that's a good way to start a video. I should have started the video this way, probably. Why do we as Christians think there are so many why do we think there are so many atheists and unbelievers out there? We think there's so many non-believers and atheists out there, probably for the wrong reasons. I'm starting to think that, well, at least part of the reason there's so many atheists and unbelievers out there are because they've tried the church thing and gotten hurt in something. They've either gotten hurt by it, or they didn't like the experience, had a bad experience, something, or they got judged, or people said bad things about them. Maybe they were actually in the church for a period of time, and then people started gossiping about them and saying bad things about them and spreading rumors and lies and stuff. What kind of a church is that? What kind of a Christian is that? Seriously, the church and Christians should not be doing anything like that. We shouldn't be doing stuff that's gonna hurt people and judge. We shouldn't be judging people. We shouldn't be pointing fingers. We shouldn't be spreading rumors or gossip or anything, or lies. We shouldn't be spreading lies about people, or we shouldn't be lying in general. We shouldn't be lusting. We shouldn't be doing anything that could cause anyone to stumble. We shouldn't be doing anything that could cause a fellow believer to stumble or a non-believer to stumble. Like, what if a non-believer sees you, you know, getting drunk? You know, that would raise some serious questions in their mind. If anyone sees a so-called Christian getting drunk, that would raise some serious questions. Because I'm pretty sure the Bible says point blank, straight up, point blank says don't get drunk. Okay. So yeah, and like the church, I think the most important thing. Well, okay, number one, there's like the top 3 things. I'm thinking maybe the top 3 things or the top 2 things. The most important things that for a Christian is, number one, make sure you know God, believe in God, have a relationship, have a 2-way conversation with God, and make sure you're hearing from God, you know, and not just talking to Him, not just praying to Him. Make sure you have a 2-way conversation with God and know Him and believe in Him and accept Him into your heart, and, you know, that's because it says, basically it's John 3:16. For God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son. Hold on, I'll say it slower. For God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son, that whosoever believes in Him should not perish but have everlasting life. So make sure you believe in God. Number 2, the second most important thing for a Christian is to love. Love, love, love. Do not stop loving. Always love. Always love everyone. That's all inclusive. Including your absolute worst neighbor, your worst enemy. Like, I don't know who your worst enemy is. Maybe it's somebody in another country. Maybe it's somebody in the country that you're at war with. Or maybe it's the whole group of people in that country that you're at war with. Or maybe it's an enemy you had in high school or middle school or college or something. We are called, as Christians, we are called to love every single last person on the face of the earth. I'm sorry that just came off like that did. That came off with a little bit of fear. Sorry about that. I didn't mean that. But seriously, like, I just feel like it's so hard for some people to get to realize that and to do that. Anyways, and I'm not sure about the third most important thing, but I would probably say the third most important thing is around either to have joy or to be positive. But I think love, the true and full definition of love, which is 1 Corinthians 13, I think that would pretty much include being positive. And, yeah. So, I just challenge every Christian out there watching this video. Please, try to work on those things. I think the most important thing to work on, though, is love. Just try to love every single person and accept them and don't judge them and try not to hurt them. Like, you know. So, anyways, like, why do we think there are so many atheists and non-believers out there? It's probably because they tried church and something happened that wasn't God or wasn't very Christian-like. Alright, that's all I got. Please try and work on that. Thanks.